Water. It flows through every life, every field, every city. But what happens when it disappears? Across the globe, rivers are vanishing, wells are running dry, and farms are collapsing. The world is entering a new age, an age of water wars. In California, farmers dig deeper into the earth for every drop. In Alberta, melting glaciers threaten the rivers that feed the land. In the Sahel, the desert marches forward, swallowing homes and hope. And in Australia, a once mighty river system is on the brink of collapse. Four nations, four crises, one shared future. This is not just a story of scarcity. It's a story of survival, resilience, and the race to protect what remains. Let's begin where the water runs deep, but not for long. California, a land of abundance where fertile valleys feed much of America. Almonds, grapes, lettuce, citrus. Half of the nation's fruits and vegetables come from here. But behind this harvest lies a hidden story, a water supply pushed to the breaking point. Rain is rare, rivers are shrinking, and the state's great lifeline, the groundwater beneath our feet, is being drained faster than nature can refill it. Wells run deeper every year, some plunging 1,000 feet into the earth, searching for what little remains. For farmers, water is survival, and for California, it is running out. Small family farmers often can't compete with industrial-scale agriculture. As water becomes a commodity, traded and sold like oil, those who can afford to buy survive, while others face bankruptcy. The marketplace decides who grows and who withers. The consequences go far beyond farms. As aquifers empty, the very ground sinks, a slow-motion collapse that cracks roads, damages canals, and erases the storage capacity for future water. Once gone, these ancient reserves will not return. Yet even in crisis, California experiments with solutions. Farmers adopt drip irrigation, delivering water drop by drop with surgical precision. Cities recycle wastewater into irrigation supplies. And a new law, the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, aims to balance what's taken with what's replenished. Though progress is uneven and the clock is ticking. For farm workers in rural towns, dry wells mean empty taps. Families haul bottled water for cooking and bathing, living just miles away from some of the world's most valuable crops. The paradox of scarcity amid abundance. California's story is one of innovation and desperation, resilience and risk. The Central Valley feeds the world, but how long can it feed itself? As aquifers sink, and the marketplace decides who gets to farm, California's struggle becomes a warning for us all. Next, we travel north to Canada, where melting glaciers shape a different kind of water crisis. In Alberta, Canada's rivers begin high in the Rockies. For centuries, glaciers here have acted as nature's water towers, slowly releasing meltwater to feed prairies, farms, and cities downstream. But today, these ice reserves are vanishing. Glaciers across Western Canada have lost more than half their mass in just a century. Each year, the Bow, the Athabasca, and the Saskatchewan rivers run lower, as their frozen lifelines shrink. Scientists warn that by the end of this century, many of these glaciers may disappear entirely. Yet, as the rivers weaken, Alberta's thirst grows. Agriculture depends on irrigation for wheat, canola, and cattle feed. Cities expand, and industry, particularly the oil sands, consumes vast amounts of fresh water, diverting rivers in ways that stir deep controversy. For First Nations who have lived with these waters for millennia, the crisis is more than ecological. It is cultural, spiritual, and a matter of rights. Communities downstream of oil sands projects face not only shrinking rivers, but also polluted ones. The fight for clean, reliable water is tied to sovereignty, justice, and survival. Canada has no single national water law. Its policies are fragmented, divided between provinces and federal authorities. In Alberta, water allocation was designed in an era of abundance, not scarcity. As climate change accelerates, that system is showing its cracks. Yet responses are emerging. Farmers are testing water-saving irrigation. Scientists model future flows, urging bold policy shifts. Indigenous nations call for stewardship, grounded in traditional knowledge, where water is treated not as a commodity, but as a living relative. Alberta's glaciers tell a story of urgency. A land blessed with water is discovering its limits. And just as in California, choices must be made between short-term gain and long-term survival. From melting ice to parched desert, the next chapter of our journey takes us to Africa's Sahel, where the battle against desertification defines daily life. Stretching across Africa, just south of the Sahara, lies the Sahel, a land caught between desert and savanna, home to more than 100 million people. Here, life depends on the rain, and when the rain fails, survival itself hangs in the balance. For decades, the Sahel has been losing ground to the desert. Rising temperatures, overgrazing, and deforestation strip the land bare. Each year, sand swallows farmland, and millions are forced to migrate in search of food and water. The cost is measured not only in harvests lost, but in hunger, conflict, and displacement. Yet the people of the Sahel are not giving up. Across villages in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Senegal, farmers are turning back the desert with simple, powerful techniques. The half-moon method, digging small basins into the earth, captures rain where it falls, restoring soil moisture. What once was barren dust can, within years, bloom with crops. On a continental scale, the vision is just as bold: the Great Green Wall. 11 countries are working to plant a living barrier of trees stretching nearly 5,000 miles across Africa. More than a wall, it is a movement to restore degraded land, to provide livelihoods, and to bring hope back to communities on the front lines of climate change. In many villages, it is women who lead these efforts, gathering seeds, managing nurseries, and ensuring families have food. Young people, too, are reclaiming their future, proving that resilience can grow even in the harshest soil. International organizations, from the United Nations to local NGOs, are supporting these efforts, building wells, training farmers, and funding land restoration. But progress is uneven, and resources often fall short of the urgent need. The Sahel's struggle is one of hardship, but also of resilience. From half-moons in the soil to a wall of trees stretching across a continent, this region shows what human determination can achieve. Our journey now turns to Australia, where another great river system faces collapse, not from desert sands, but from mismanagement and greed. In Australia's southeast lies the Murray-Darling Basin, a vast river system that sustains 40% of the nation's agriculture. For generations, it has been the lifeline of farmers, towns, and ecosystems. But today, that lifeline is faltering. Years of over-extraction, climate-driven drought, and water mismanagement have left rivers choking. In 2019, millions of fish washed up dead along the Darling River, a symbol of ecological collapse that shocked the nation. The basin's waters have been fought over fiercely. Irrigation schemes, water trading, and large-scale cotton and rice farms have drained flows meant for wetlands and communities downstream. Critics warn that what was once a shared resource has been turned into a commodity, bought, sold, and too often stolen. The stakes are not only economic, but ecological. The Murray-Darling is home to unique wetlands, bird life, and fish species. Without reform, experts warn, parts of this system may never recover. Investigations exposed cases of illegal water diversions, farmers siphoning billions of liters while ecosystems withered. Outrage followed, with rural communities taking to the streets, demanding fairness and accountability. Signs of hope are emerging. New monitoring systems track water use from space. Farmers are adopting water-efficient irrigation and experimenting with crops suited to drier climates. Policymakers debate reforms aimed at restoring flows to rivers, wetlands, and communities. For Australia's First Nations peoples, the Murray and Darling rivers are more than resources. They are sacred. Traditional custodians call for a return to stewardship, reminding the country that water is not just property, but life itself. The Murray-Darling Basin stands at a crossroads, collapse or renewal. The choices Australia makes in the coming years will determine not only the future of its rivers, but the survival of the people and ecosystems who depend on them. And in this struggle lies a lesson for us all. From North America to Africa, from Australia to the Arctic meltwaters of Canada, one truth emerges: water binds us all. Though separated by continents, the crises of California, Alberta, the Sahel, and the Murray-Darling share common roots and common solutions. In California, innovation has become survival. Farmers turn to drip irrigation, recycling wastewater, and planting crops that demand less. It is a story of adaptation under pressure. In Alberta, as glaciers retreat, Indigenous stewards remind us that water is more than resource, it is sacred. Their call for stewardship offers a vision of respect and responsibility that transcends borders. In the Sahel, where desert sands advance, communities fight back with green hands. The Great Green Wall stretches across nations, restoring soil, capturing water, and giving people hope where once there was only dust. And in Australia, technology meets tradition. Satellites track every liter of water, while farmers learn from both science and indigenous knowledge to rebuild balance in a collapsing river system. Though each nation's struggle is unique, their lessons converge: efficiency and conservation, respect and stewardship, policy rooted not in profit, but in fairness, and above all, resilience born from communities unwilling to surrender to thirst. The water crisis is not inevitable. It is a challenge and an opportunity. If we choose to listen, to learn, and to act together, we can shape a future where rivers run, fields grow, and every child has the right to clean, living water. But before we look ahead, we must ask a harder question: who truly owns the water? Water, the source of all life. Yet in courtrooms, boardrooms, and parliaments, it is treated as a commodity, measured, bought, and sold like oil or gold. But water is not oil. It is not gold. It is the one thing no living being can live without. Who owns the water beneath our feet? The rivers that cross nations? The rain that falls from the sky? Is it the farmer who pumps it? The corporation that bottles it? The government that grants rights? Or is water something beyond ownership? Something we are merely entrusted to share? Conflicts over water are no longer distant possibilities. They are here. From California's aquifers to Alberta's glaciers, to the deserts of the Sahel, to the rivers of Australia, every drop carries a question of justice, survival, and power. The story of water is the story of us, our resilience, our greed, our choices, and our chance to write a different ending. Because the answer to the question, who owns the water, may be this: no one and everyone. Water is life, and its future is in our hands.